There we are. Thank you very much for joining us this week. It's Wednesday, so it's time for the Ravery Sports Podcast. Like and subscribe to all of our social media content. Welcome back. A lot of our ex-people who are finding us now because of that. We were hacked with a stupid Elon Musk page or whatever they are. Thank you very much, y'all idiots that hacked the page with a bunch of foolishness. Thank you, all of you out here who are watching with the Ravery Sports. It's Wednesday, so we do this every Wednesday night here from 8 o'clock. So thank you, all of you, for checking us out with us this week. NFL pre and post game on April 23rd, the night of the draft. So the Ravens are back in the first round, and so we're going to do pre and post. 7:30, we're going to be going live here with the pregame. We're going to go over the draft. We're going to go over who's going to get taken, who's going to be the first 5 picks, what the Ravens might do, what other moves might do, how the division, how all this looks. We're going to go ahead and chop up draft day, one of my favorite days of the year, the NFL draft. That day, April 23rd. We're going to be coming on after. We're going to recap the Ravens pick. We're going to recap a bunch of picks here as well. Secondly, it's Genesis Notary Services /Facebook.com. Definitely check us out here, Genesis Notary Services /Facebook.com. RaverySports.company.site as well. C. Charles Harris. We are LegalShield.com. Definitely check that out. So definitely too, if you have legal needs, absolutely check it out. Absolutely check out if you have legal needs, legal services that you're looking for. Absolutely check that out. Also too, as well, Genesis Notary Services. If you are in the Winchester area, got notary appointments this weekend for sure. You'll probably, if you aren't out there, you're going to see me out there in front row, and you're going to see me in Winchester out there doing some of those. We might be doing some on-site promotion here pretty soon for that. So I want to thank all of you. Definitely check it out if you have a need. Definitely Legal Shield. Definitely check that out as well. And we got a baseball season here that's going to start. We're going to go over that. Opening day is tomorrow. But let's get it popping with the Ravens roster breakdown. So as well, so we're going to go ahead and how do we look right now? Okay. So the Ravens roster we're now in the post free agency era. Okay. So we've had a season, obviously. We've had coaching moves. That's all done. We've had combine. We've had big free agencies. There's still free agents out there. But let's break it down. What do we actually have? Let's break it down. What's here? We're going to do next couple of weeks, for better or worse, how the rosters look like, NFL, along with the draft, couple of the last 2 mock drafts. We're going to go over that as well next 2 weeks. So we have Ravens content for you all the time as well. All right, so let's go ahead and chop it up. Ravens analysis here. Obviously, this is what the backfield looks like. Lamar Jackson obviously did go ahead, do the restructure. So the Ravens did have some flexibility, still have some flexibility. I'm not as worried about the long-term contract as some other people are. There's Ravens and Lamar are tough negotiators. I remember, when we went through this the last couple of years ago, where Lamar basically didn't get done until draft day, right? So both sides are gonna want to do what they do, etc. I think it'll get done as well. The long-term deal, both sides are tough. I mean, EDC doesn't like to make 3-4 offers. They don't really like. I'd say owners in general rather deal with an agent in general, but I don't think that's the main thing here. Tyler Huntley extension, I thought was mandatory. They re-signed Tyler Huntley. I think it's a great extension for them. I think it's great that Tyler Huntley is back as well. Tyler Huntley, I thought, had his best season last season. So getting Tyler Huntley back is outstanding as well. Running back room, Derrick Henry, Justice Hill, Rasheen Ali. So they carry 4. They're down to 3. They did not sign Keaton Mitchell. So interesting to see. So I don't know if that means just more reps for Justice Hill or they're bringing in a back in the draft. I would think you're going to see one in the draft to compete with Rashid Ali, but Justice Hill, got no problem with Justice Hill. Got no problem with Justice Hill. I think he's not always being used right in the lineup. No Pat Ricard. So the only fullback on the roster we think is Lucas Scott here. I just posted this not that long ago how there was no real fullback in Chicago last year. Declan Doyle's going to be running the offense. So it is possible for the first time since we've had a Ravens franchise that we don't have a full-time back. Lucas Scott is first on the depth chart. He'll get an opportunity. We'll see what the draft looks like. But I think Lucas, I think it's a very good possibility we're going to have 4 tight ends instead of the fullback. They're going to replace that with the tight end as well. Wide receiver, Zay Flowers, Rashard Bateman, and Mark Andrews. Andrews, I think, is still here. Definitely no surprise. The extension signed at the end of last year, about $12 million. I think that people are talking like Andrews like it's completely over. I'm not sure that's the case. I think Andrews might have 3 more good years in him. Tight ends do play a little bit later. You look at a Travis Kelce, you look at a George Kittle, you look at guys like that. I think it is possible that he gets more reps without Isaiah Likely here, and it's possible that it is. I don't necessarily believe that we're necessarily throwing dirt on Mark Andrews as well. Rashad Bateman, still here. Good for him. Hasn't been traded. Rumblings. I think that's something you want to look at on draft day. I think that's a piece they may put out there if somebody comes along and wants Bateman. See how the receivers look. I could definitely see like a day 2 trade of Rashad Bateman, or even a night 1 trade if somebody wants him as well. And Zay Flowers, it's just only a matter of how much money is it going to cost to sign Zay Flowers. You look at the contract that that JHS just got for Seattle. He's going to be getting in the neighborhood of that. So how much you want to spend, but it's going to be expensive to go ahead and sign him. Wide receiver Devontae Walker is pretty much the 3rd receiver right now. So definitely we'll see if they sign another vet. Certainly in the draft. I mean, I think you'll definitely see a receiver at some point. Durham Smythe, this is pretty much the replacement for Charlie Kolar as well. He's a blocking tight end. I don't expect him to catch a lot of passes. There is talk of bringing David Njoku, who came in for a visit with the Ravens. We'll see. Visits aren't what they used to be. Used to be if a guy come for a visit, then he was signing. Now it's almost clue that he's not signing necessarily. Like he comes in and visit, okay, I'll check it out, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. So we'll see. I think definitely there's 1 or 2 tight ends more coming in the offering. Offensive line. Here's a discussion. Here's if they were to start right now. Ronnie Stanley back again at left tackle. John Simpson at back at left guard, returning with his stint with the Jets. Corey Bullock starting at center. Emory Jones at right guard. Roger Rosengard at right tackle. Tackles we know. Again, his contract could be coming up here. Roger Rosengard. We wonder how that's going to look in the long term. Does he have a long-term future with the Ravens? How much is that going to be? Key season for him as far as that goes, as far as money and all that perception, and it's big for him. Rosengard, how he does in 2026 is going to matter in that sense. Ronnie Stanley is Ronnie Stanley. I think just keep him healthy. I think we know what we're getting there with Ronnie Stanley. John Simpson, I have him at left guard ahead of Voorhees. I do think that's where they're going to put him. It is possible, depends on the draft, that they can bring somebody in as well. He's starting, by the way. They gave him $10 million. He's $10 million a year. He's going to start for you. So it's possible he could start at right guard and they flip Jones to the left side. I don't think that's the way it's going to go. He played left guard when he was here before. He played left guard before. I think that's what they're going to do, unless for some reason they can get along with somebody they really like in the draft and want to play him at left side. I'm thinking it's left side for him. Corey Bullock. Um, yeah, they're drafting a center. I don't. I don't. I think they're going to look at it for sure. They got Corey Bullock. They got Danny Pinner. I think they could be competing for with the center. This is the one position for sure they're going to take somebody in the first 3 rounds. I'd be really shocked if they didn't take a center in the first 3 rounds or pretty early in the draft. I think that third round past that, I think I'd be really, really, really surprised if they didn't do that. Guard, I think it'll be interesting. This is actually some debate here. How do the organization feel about Emory Jones? Do they think that this guy could come in and play every down as a right guard or as a left guard? So we'll see. I think right now, if they were to roll it out, I think he's running with the first team in right guard. I do believe that's going to go that way. Two other free agents. This is Danny Pinner. We talked about him a little bit. I just think he's a vet body. I think they look at same with Jovan Gwynn. I think they may even try him at center a little bit. He's played interior. One of them might impress you. You never know. Guys are vets as well. Andrew Voorhees is still here. I think for sure. I think this is how it's going to go. He's going to play behind John Simpson as well. I don't envision that they're going to start him next year at all. Carson Vincent for the Ravens as well. We really still don't know what he can do. I think that's fair. I mean, Carson Vincent hasn't really played at all last year, and so we're still waiting to see if he has anything on the field that he can do. So we're still kind of just waiting as well. Big guy, tremendous size. I'm kind of the thought that this year for him is going to look like last year. I don't know how much he's going to play as well. Probably a little bit more, I would think, but I don't think he's going to play much at all this year as well. So there are the guards. There is your offense there. Let's go ahead and check it out. Defense. 25 million. 25 million. Matabuke should be back. If you've seen the videos on social media that he is working out, he's out there good. He everything looks positive. Everything he's putting out, that he's going to have every shot to play back. That is huge to have Matabuke. They sorely missed him last year. We'll see. His neck injury was very serious. They weren't sure they're going to have him back. So there's still some trepidation, but I'm putting him in. I definitely all signs that they're going to have Nami Matabuke back. Travis Jones was outstanding last year, I thought as well. Having him with Matabuke makes all the difference. Travis Jones has been really good. I think he didn't play as much because Michael Pierce was here. Broderick Washington injured a lot last year. This is a little more of a question mark. I think he hadn't played as well. But I do think having him back, I think, is a helpful thing here as well. Behind him, Aeneas Peoples, John Jenkins, and CJ Okoye. I think they're all going to get a shot at that Broderick Washington spot, I think. But I think the Ravens feel pretty good about it here, considering, and unless they get information with Matabuke that's bad. They get good news on Matabuke. Think they're pretty happy with what they're going to do here as well. I do believe he's going to be back as well. This group, Trey Hendrickson, Roquan Smith, Teddy Buchanan, Mike Green as well. Linebackers. So Trey Hendrickson is going to start for sure. This fixes your pass rush problem. I think he's one of the best pass rushers, I think, in the NFL. I mean, just keep him healthy. He's going to get you double digits. I mean, you're not going to have to worry about somebody getting double digit sacks. He's going to get double teamed a lot. So it's just going to be a good opportunity for them. The other side, Mike Green. I actually liked him more than I think some other people did. I was actually somewhat impressed. I think he's really, lack of a better word, green. But I think Green, really got to get a little stronger. Got to get a little stronger. I think that was kind of what I'm saying. Like he's got great speed, and the guy got swallowed up by bigger guys. This NFL, different level, etc. But I thought he was really good at times last year. So definitely you have that there as well. Teddy Buchanan injured at the end of last year. He's going to have a fight on the hand with Trent Simpson. I thought Trent Simpson was about as good as I saw him at the end. So I definitely think you feel strong about that. You're actually almost more concerned about Roquan, who hasn't looked the same at times, good at times, but they need him to be elite. They're paying him a lot of money, like $20 million a year to be elite. That's the only concern. But I'm not overly concerned about Roquan. He could have been playing with an injury last. We'll see. This is a strong linebacker group, so not too concerned about that. Jay Higgins as well made the team as well. I think definitely help on special team. Tavius Robinson, I think, is fine. Set the edge. He could start at the beginning of the year, depending on how Green does in camp, how they look. They want to go that route. They could have just it would be an easy thing to do to put Tavius Robinson and start him on the other side, especially if you have Trey Anderson, because you can have him set the edge. I think that's a easy thing to do as well. Jay Higgins played last year. I got no problem with Jay Higgins. I definitely think like at least he can definitely help on special teams. Isaac, can he play? We have no idea. He's been injured pretty much the whole time he's been a Raven. I think they're gonna cut bait in this camp with him. I think he's in the David Ajabo position last year. If he makes the team and plays all year, I'd be somewhat surprised as well with that. All right, couple more. Marlon Humphrey as well. Malachi Starks, Kyle Hamilton, Awuzie, Nate Wiggins. So if you count Nickelback as starter, I think you're kind of going to see Nate Wiggins as well. There, you're going to see Nate Wiggins. Awuzie, I thought was terrific last year. Awuzie, I thought was more than pleasantly surprised. I think you could have argued that he was the best corner all season long. So they brought him back. He definitely earned his spot back. You're going to put him on the outside with Marlon. Marlon, I think, is interesting. I think certainly his man-to-man coverage stuff has really kind of went down. But again, he was really the only guy getting you turnovers. So I think there's value in that. I really do. I really think if somebody can actually to go take the ball away is something like that. I think that's a thing. Certainly, too, he'll be aided with better pass rush. That's always part of the narrative with the corner. But Marlon, getting closer to the end, I think with Marlon for sure. Malachi Starks, I think we'll for sure start with them. Look, the other guys are gone. Darius Washington's gone. Names escaping. Darius Washington's gone. Lowell Gilman's gone. They brought him in. So I definitely think this is going to be his chance full time. And Kyle Hamilton, I think, probably the best safety in the NFL. So this we know. I don't care where you play him. I think it's cool to play him at the line of scrimmage, but you can play him anywhere. I don't care about that. TJ Tampa is very interesting here. I think this is the most interesting of the second group as well. I think Tampa, good in college, kind of still we don't know. Kind of hasn't played a whole lot. So I'm interested to see how much the Ravens get from TJ Tampa going forward. Can he be a nickelback? Can he be more? Can he be a guy that they look to replace Marlon at some point? Jalen Hawkins, I think, was free agent signing. I think he's going to replace a Lowell Gilman. I think he's definitely a depth piece. Jandre Jackson had a great start last year, was very good on special teams. Definitely, too, he'll get every opportunity at this year. Two young guys from last year, Black Cone, and Robert Longerbeam. Easy for me to say. Robert Longerbeam is there. No idea if they're even going to be on the roster. They were injured at training camp, so they're going to get a shot at it. Keon Martin, very good training camp last year. Definitely played his way as an undrafted free agent. Kind of tailed off during the course of the year. So that's interesting to see how that goes. For sure, I think there's a cornerback in the offering as well. Last spot as well. Tyler Loop, how does he respond? How do they feel about him? This will be very interesting to see what happens with Tyler Loop. Do they still think that Tyler Loop is the long-term answer? Good by all accounts, obviously, except for that last game as well. So interesting. Javonte Wester, not the impact we hoped for, I think, on the punt return and kick return last year. I certainly see him getting another shot as well. I don't know how much he's going to play all special teams as well, but we'll see. I think he's definitely the first place right now, getting another shot, barring something in the draft. Nick Moore, I think, is the grandpa now of the group. Definitely, too. He's the guy, for sure, he's going to be one of your special teams captains as well. And we have no punter. There's nobody here. Jordan Stout signed with New York, so they're definitely going in the draft and looking for a punter or looking at a free agent punter. I would assume they would do the drafts. They're looking at punters. That's probably the route they go. You could probably save $3 million, something like that, if you sign a rookie to do it. And there's less pressure on a rookie punter than it is a rookie as far as a kicker, like a Tyler Loop, whatever, because that's not putting points on the board. All right. There you go. There's your roster breakdown. Breakdown of the depth chart as well. So, first time ever. Maybe we don't have a fullback as well. Offenses should be intact. Offensive pieces, we know. Lamar, Derrick Henry, Zay Flowers, Mark Andrews as well. Line's definitely going to need some work. I think that's still obviously a work in progress. Offensive line, signing however they did it with the whole Max Crosby fiasco. Trey Henderson's a Baltimore Raven. That's going to help you a lot. That's going to help you a whole lot in your pass rush. And you definitely needed help with your pass rush. And I think if you get Matabuke back, it'll be even better than that. Secondary is a little bit of a concern, but I think they're in good shape all the way around. So we'll take a look. We're kind of going to stack them up, the Ravens roster against a lot of the rosters as well. So we'll definitely go ahead and take a look at that. All right. We're certainly going to get to opening day here. Some of you, I'm sure, tonight are watching the Yankees and Giants on Netflix here as well. Let me even check the score here. To quote Bobby Heenan, the late great Bobby Heenan, the WCW and WWE announcer, I don't care who wins this game as long as it's not the Yankees. Still early in the first inning. All right, so let's go ahead. Sweet 16 is here. So Sweet 16. So we had the dearly departed Hubert Davis not with us anymore because he's no longer a North Carolina basketball coach. Real quick on that. It is tough, some of these jobs, man. I don't know what to tell some of these coaches sometimes because, like, North Carolina, I mean, he won 70% of his games, just about, in the door. he was one of their great players. See you later, buddy. That's the way it goes. So sometimes I get a lot of pressure in North Carolina. So definitely check that out as well. Sweet 16 coming at you this weekend here as well. Thursday night, tomorrow night, you're going to have some games as we roll to the Final Four. Next weekend is the Final Four. So we're going to talk about that. So there's 5 teams. We're going to talk about that in the Sweet 16 as well. Other one, real quick here before we get to the next segment. Shout out to Rick Pitino. I think he definitely I put it on. Definitely check out River Sport Block Spot. I talked about the teams I thought would get to the Final Four, but Rick Pitino is goated, man. What he's done is unbelievable. Here's a guy who's in the original Big East. I don't think he's going to get his team to the Final Four, but I certainly think he's in it. I certainly could see it. Here's a guy, original Big East, Providence College years ago. The only one of those coaches I remember now, he is old man back in the Big East at St. John's doing well. So shout out to him as far as that goes. So shout out to the great Rick Pitino here. But we're going to talk about who's here in the top 5 teams. Obviously, we're only going to have 4. So I'm not quite sure if the 15 going back, but I think it's definitely worth talking about. I think one of these 5 is going to win the title here as well. Number 5, the Boilermakers of Purdue. I think this is the team that won the Big Ten title during the tournament, Big Ten tournament rather. So I definitely think one of the best teams, I think, in college basketball. And they were like ranked number 1 at the beginning of the season. That guy right there, Brayton Smith, I think is part of the best backcourt tandem. And one of them in all college basketball certainly left in the tournament. Him and Fletcher Lawyer are terrific as well. Trey Kaufman-Wren up front kind of helps him. He's kind of the third part of that. This is a team I think that's really, really got a shot here. I don't like their draw, but I definitely think they're there. Fighting national means just not talking about these guys. I think that's kind of crazy to me. That nobody is really talking about such a good team at the Big Ten are, but I definitely think I don't think they get to the Final Four, but I definitely think they're there. They definitely got a shot. I definitely think they go into Elite 8 and actually beat Texas in the next game. So definitely Boilermakers, I think, are right there as well. They're totally, when you look at the Maryland program, this is the total opposite. No transfer portal, not a lot of transfer portal, keeping guys for years, coach, stable, guys, good college players, exactly what you want to get to. Number 4, the Dukies, the Blue Devils. They didn't look good, I don't think, in the first game. I think they certainly under different circumstances could have lost one of those games. I mean, I keep going back to Camp Boozer just not having the dog in him, not having the mama mentality. That's kind of what's bothering me whenever I see him. As good as he is, I think this is the best player in college basketball, in my opinion. I definitely think that's this. He had 30, he had 19 points, 4 assists, 11 rebounds. I think he has a good floor game. I think he is good in several areas, but I don't think he always makes his teammates better. I like to see a little more fire in his belly as well. And that's kind of what I didn't see from John Shire's team in the first 2 rounds. Not enough fire in your belly as well. So definitely, too, I think they certainly I think they get past St. John's. I think it will be tough, but they're going to have to play harder in that. So if you're going to beat a Rick Pitino team, you're definitely going to have to play harder than what you did and play with a little more fire in your belly. So I think the Dukies actually get to the Final Four, the Houston Cougars. So, yes, we're not talking about 5 slam jamming. We're not talking about older women here. We're talking about the Houston Cougars. I think, too, they have one of the better players in the country. Kingston Flemings, outstanding. He wasn't so great in the last outing, and they still pretty much whooped up on Texas A&M. So that tells you that Calvin Sampson has a well-coached team. They're going to score. That's a Calvin Sampson team. They're going to score. A lot of these schools I'm seeing in the Sweet 16, not just the ones we're talking about, but Michigan State, Connecticut, St. John's, and the one here, Houston, they're on brand with their coach. They're absolutely on brand with their coach because they're going to score. This young man, I think, is certainly their best player. But you look at their last scores, they on a bad night, 75, even the Big Ten tournament, 69, 70. So they're going to quicken the pace and they're going to score a lot of points. So definitely like them as well. I think they actually get to the Final Four as well. Wildcats are fantastic. Arizona, I think, could be best team in all college basketball. I'm not sure if it's them or Michigan as well, but certainly I think They're good. They have LeBron James's son on the roster. For those of you that don't know, even though he hasn't played all season long as well, so it could be he's there and he never plays. He may go to the NBA. I think Bryce James is going to go to the NBA and play with his dad and his brother in the NBA. But Braden Burries, I think, is a fantastic player. I love him. I think like he is a guy who's going to play in the NBA for at least 10 plus years because he can do it on both sides of both sides. He's going to score, but I notice a lot of his scoring comes from his outstanding defense. He's a guy that really can do well in the open court. You get a lot of open court stuff. I want to say Scottie Pippen, but he's not that size. And I want to say Gary Payton, but he's not a real. He's more of a 2. But you get the idea, right? He's a defense. He's got a lot of good defense. He gets defense. He gets offense from his defense. Handles the ball well. Shoots the ball from the outside well. About 50% from the field. I think this is a really, really good player as well. And I think Arizona is really good. I think Arizona, during the course of the year, there may not have been a better team as far as during the season. I mean, they kind of slipped up at the end a little bit, but I absolutely think that this is an outstanding team here. I'd be shocked if somebody beats Arizona like as well. The number one, obviously, and we talked about it a little bit, and that's the Michigan Wolverines. One, I think their coach is top shelf, Dustin May. I think Dustin May, if they're probably possibly the best coach in all of college basketball, I mean, the way he's flipped this around in like no time is unbelievable as well. They have you watch them and the size of the Wolverines, I never really get past it. Mara, Luxembourg, those guys, they're very, very, very good. They actually win decisively, and they're very tough to score on. These two teams at the top, the reason that I like them is they actually play real defense, both of these guys. So they're definitely strong defensively. Two of the better teams in all college basketball. So as well. So when we're watching this weekend, I think it's Michigan, Arizona, Houston, and Duke. Duke, I'm a little shaky on, but I'm still going to go with Duke. I think they top to bottom, they have the better team as well. So enjoy the madness this weekend. So definitely check that out as well. That kind of gives you an idea of what we're going to see here in the Sweet 16. Next week, for sure, we're going to be down to 4, and we're going to go ahead and for sure talk about that as well. Oh, yes. Now for the entertainment portion of our podcast. So I am going to talk about this. This is funny stuff. This is really funny stuff. So we're going to talk about Stephen A. Smith again on this podcast last night, who's addressing Jason Whitlock. So just for context, just kind of set this up. So very recently, Jason Whitlock, who, for those of you that don't know, used to work for ESPN, used to work for Fox Sports, and currently is in the podcast called Fearless. And he's had a very public feud with Stephen A. Smith, who we all know who works at ESPN, pretty much the face of ESPN, face of the NBA coverage, First Take, the highest rated show. Stephen A. Smith, so everybody knows him. And he took his time to go ahead and kill Jason Whitlock here on Twitter. Let's go ahead and share screen here. I'll say this, and I know a lot of people don't like Stephen A., etc., or don't like Whitlock. We see more of this from him. I'm going to be a bigger fan of him.
Was a teammate.
Because this wasn't, you know how he talked. The problem I have with Stephen A. a lot of times, he's always kind of couching his comments. Well, before I say this, he'll preface for 30 minutes before he starts talking, right? Not this time. He was really getting after Whitlock. I won't play the whole thing, but here is Stephen A. talking about Whitlock here. Recently appeared on Cam Newton's podcast. Cam Newton. We're going to talk about Cam Newton. We're going to talk about Ryan Clark here real quick. So let's go ahead here.
A friend, one of my best friends in the world, never bothered anybody. But because Jason Whitlock is so addicted and fixated on me, he's going to go after my boys. It's who he is. And then he's trying to hide behind my quote-unquote bump my basketball career. I didn't have one. Cracked my kneecap in half. Couple of months after I got there, it was over before it began, damn it. Who cares? I'm 58 years old in the business that you're in, and that's at the same time that you're in, smoking your ass. Smoking you.
Smoking you.
Excuse my language.
Excuse my language.
You can't fuck with me, Jay.
I ain't repeating that.
Not even a little bit. There's levels to this. And your ass is smaller than a cockroach compared to me. You're nothing. You are an expert troller. I'll give you that. And you can evoke emotional responses and conversations because you're willing to stoop to the lowest of the low by attacking people's loved ones in order to get them. But know this. All you're doing is getting a reaction out of me to address how despicable you truly are. But in the end, understand that when your fat ass is sitting behind your desk and you don't want to roll around it because you don't want everybody to see how rotund you are, no, everything about my life is better than yours. I've never said this about anybody else, and I never will. This is specifically for you. You've lost. I'm better than you. The public says it. Everybody knows it. And you looked so pathetic, it had me wondering, really, he must be in really, really dire straits. So I decided to do something about that.
This is the best part here.
Nice studio. Something you can't afford.
I can't either.
Somewhere along the way, you know what I'm contemplating doing, Jason? I haven't made a decision yet. But I'm thinking about starting a GoFundMe account for you. Because clearly you're that desperate. That's why you talk about me so much. Look at your numbers when you're talking about me and look at your numbers when you don't. I keep you relevant. That's perhaps the worst insult of it all. Fat Bastard Lock. That's the title of the GoFundMe account. Fat Bastard Lock.
So make sure all of you, not really, go to Fat Bastard Lock and go to and support Jason Whitlock. Equal time here. Give equal time here. Let's hear from the fat bastard himself, Jason Whitlock, about this and respond, and then I'll go ahead and give you some thoughts on what these guys are doing and the little bit of seriousness that's in this here. Now, in this clip here, he's going to be speaking to Emmanuel Acho, who's kind of sided with Stephen A. on this here in his show, Speak Easy. Speak Easy, for those of you that don't know, is a sports show that started this year after his show Speak for Yourself. And both, coincidentally, Whitlock was actually replaced by Emmanuel Acho at Fox Sports with Speak Easy. Lauren, speak for yourself. And now he's got a podcast called Speak Easy.
Please change it to The View for black men.
This type of
That's what the
commentary
show
he
is.
has on his
You're
show.
Whoopi Goldberg, little chubby, light-skinned dude is Joy Behar. The little dude with the long flowing hair. That's like your hot little blonde plaything that you guys have. It's The View. The show is super feminine. You sit around and gossip about things you know nothing about.
I mean, it's just appalling. It sickens me.
You drag Shady McCoy into this thing yesterday or 2 days ago, whenever. You drag Shady McCoy into it. Shady McCoy got real uncomfortable. He's talking real saucy and real zesty early.
Say, when I look at Jason Whitlock, why am I checking you about? You know what I'm saying? Look at him. It makes sense.
Yeah. And then all of a sudden, Shady McCoy figures out, like, holy cow, I'm at a Diddy party.
Everybody know ain't no party like a Diddy party, so.
Is that baby oil I smell? Shady McCoy figured it out. As y'all's conversation got more and more feminine.
You started the conversation about Stephen A. If anyone's a dick rider here, it's you. You can't get off of Stephen A's dick. Damn. You can't get enough of Stephen A's dick.
Shut your stupid ass up.
And he started realizing, like, hey, man, Whitlock's not wrong. Look at the man's facial expression. He completely shuts down, puts his hand over his...
All right. So you guys get the idea. Stephen A. and he was talking about Emmanuel Acho, who commented on the situation, that the beef that these two guys are having. I talked about this the first time I talked about Stephen A. and Whitlock. You know, it's funny. Well, years ago when I was trying to get into journalism and I'm trying to get into media, these guys are so above this type of stuff. We're from the fifth order. We're journalists. We don't. Now you see, now they've embraced the YouTube beef because now the money's in the YouTube beef. So I think that's pretty funny in and of itself. Couple things here. Couple things, Stephen A. and Whitlock. Everybody wants to say that Stephen A is above Whitlock, blah, 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 blah. Whitlock has had a very good career as well. They're really not that different, I think, in life sometimes. I think, like, Stephen A's had more mainstream success, but I think they're really not that different of two different type people. One's a real conservative guy. Whitlock, I said, he has some of the most offensive takes I think I've ever heard. What he said about LeBron James, when LeBron James had the N-word painted on his house, that was just one of the most despicable things I've heard from anyone. Terrible. It's not wrong all the time, but I think he says some things that are interesting and provocative. He'll say anything. Emmanuel Acho, kind of the same type of guy. I think I call him the new Skip Bayless. He'll kind of just say anything. All right. And you know, he doesn't care about what is. So that's kind of thing. He kind of sided with Stephen A. That's what it is. Cam Newton. I think I really want to talk about this real quick. Cam Newton, I actually subscribed to his podcast this week for the first time. Cam has about 1.35 million subscribers. He's doing much better than I thought he would. So shout out to Cam, getting it done, getting the subscribers, getting a following. And I heard him say something on his podcast I thought was very interesting. It's like, why didn't you shut down Stephen A? Stephen A is supposed to be your friend. It's like, you let people say what they want to say. And I have the same philosophy here. Like, if you interview somebody, like Charlemagne the Guy kind of has the same type of thing. Dame Dash calls him every name in the world when he shows up. Let him. This is their platform. You have a platform. You go ahead. You let people say what they want. A lot of times there are rules, of course, you know, my wife or anything foolish like, that we're not going to tolerate that. But let them go ahead and rock. Let them go ahead and say what they want to say. So shout out to Cam for actually standing his ground. Really disgraceful to, I would say, Ryan Clark interjecting himself, who had a Twitter post about, well, you shouldn't have had Jason Whitlock on because you're working with Stephen A. And I don't care. That's way, 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 way out of line. Way out of line. I can only imagine somebody telling me on my podcast who I can have and can't have. Doesn't work like that. That's his podcast. He can have who he wants. If he thinks it'll drive ratings, if he thinks it'll get views, clicks, however it is, you're way out of line for saying that, Ryan. What's wrong with you? Who is it? Who are you to tell him who he can have? Who is Stephen A to tell him who he can interview? That's insane. So that's just, again, I want you the audience, and I want you guys to understand how this media thing works. A lot of us all want the same things. We want people to watch, want people to engage. We want people to actually view the podcasts and our programs and things like that. And so we can earn, and so we can go ahead and earn and make money and do well and all those things. So these guys aren't that different. Stephen A. Some people are team Stephen A. Some people are team Whitlock. I think that's just how this works. Personally, I think Whitlock says a lot of disgusting things. I think he just says a lot of disgusting things. I think he's interesting. I think I kind of like hate watching him at times because he's interesting, but he says a lot of disgusting things. I think Stephen A. is a, at times, and I think he's been said a WWE character. Like at times he says things and he's a performer as well. I think real journalism and all the other stuff and blah, blah, blah. And I think, to me, I never got past that part of it. That's the most fascinating. Like now these guys are embracing YouTube beef, embracing the silliness, embracing all the other stuff that brings you clicks and views to, just shows you we're all out here trying to make money. All right. Shout out to those guys. All right. Let's get serious. Top 10 relievers in MLB. Season starts tomorrow. We're going to talk about the Orioles as well. So who are the top 10 relief pitchers? The closer in MLB. All right. So who is going to be on the top 10 list this year as well? Bit of a changing of the thing. Bit of a change of the guard. I think this is always evolving. I think you're always seeing guys go up and down and relievers go up and down. And last year we had Emmanuel Clase, who's really got issues down on the list. We'll see. But it's guys' roles change. Guy like Robert Suarez not even in the ninth inning. So interesting. Just for this. And if I was a player, this would be the one position I would want. The ninth inning guy, the closer. I love closers as well. Devin Williams for the Mets, number 10. Mets, this will be interesting to see how he does because I think he's been a bit up and down. I think overall he's been really, really good for a long time as well. But he's going to get the ball for the ninth inning in the Mets. He wasn't particularly good last year, despite the fact he had 18 saves, but most of his career he has been really good. 1.25 the year before, 14 saves the year before, 26, and he had like 36. So not a closer for a long time, but I think he's a flamethrower, absolute flamethrower for the Mets. I think he's definitely got the lineup to actually do well. So I think the Mets, are going to got a real gem with this guy. I think he bounces back in a big way. I think all the tools are there as well. They did lose, obviously, if he's in the ninth inning, that means Diaz is no longer there. We'll get to that as well. Carlos Estevez for the Kansas City Royals. So this guy's top shelf. I think teams just really don't know it. Again, another guy, flamethrower. Not great this spring. So there's that. So I think there's a little bit of a concern there, but I think his last couple of years he's been really good. 31 saves a couple of years ago, 2023 for the Angels as well. Played with the Phillies, then really didn't close. Then the year before that, 20 plus saves again with the Angels, 42 last year with Kansas City. I think this guy is a stud. Definitely a guy who's going to get whipped 1.06. Crazy. Only gave up 18 earned runs all season last year in 67 games pitched. So he's a rock star. He's a rock star for sure as well. Yes, Aroldis Chapman is on the list. That is right, because he was fantastic last year. Here's a guy. Look, it's funny. Like he came in the league and he was big claim to fame that he could throw 100 miles an hour, right? And now we got a bunch of guys that can throw 100 miles an hour, but he still can do it. I thought it really was a good resurgence for him last year. 32 saves, 1.17 ERA, 38 years old. So shout out to him, man. $18 million they're going to go ahead and give him. He only gave up 8 earned runs all last year. This is his world. This is what he does. Close it out in the 9th inning. He's pitched for several different teams. I thought he was good for the Red Sox last year. They did the right move re-signing him. I think he's going to be good till he actually hangs up the cleats. Chapman, I think, has always found a way a lot of times. Rafael Iglesias for the Braves. So I think this is fascinating. I'm not sure that I would have even have done this, but they are starting him in the 9th inning instead of Robert Suarez. Interesting. That now you can do that when you have 2. Now you could say that this is strategic in a lot of ways to make the team better. 29 saves last year, 3.21 ERA. That's kind of where he is. That's the only kind of thing with him. He's like what you kind of envision in some ways. You hand him the ball, he's good, but he's not great all the time. His ERA to me always kind of seems to me a scotch higher than you want a really good closer to be. That's just me. His ERA is kind of like I had a high 2, a 3 several times, even though he obviously gets a lot of saves. But I'm looking at his stats here. It's like he was at 195 one year, but 275, 404. Yeah, just I get it. But for the most part, on a good Braves team, he's going to be very dominant. I think definitely top 7. Duran for the Phillies as well. This is definitely what the doctor ordered for the Phils as well. So you look at their Achilles heel the last couple years before they actually acquired Duran at the deadline. What was wrong with the Phillies? They didn't have any guy in the 9th inning. They had Craig Kimbrell. They tried that as well. They got a guy here who had over 30 saves last year, like 32 saves last year, 23 and 27, 28 years old. Absolutely electric stuff for them. He's on a good team. I don't see any reason why this guy can't get 40 plus saves. I think as good as the Phillies are going to be as well. So this is absolutely what the doctor ordered, getting Durant for the Phillies. I think he's number 6 as well. Andres Munoz as well is moving up the list. Munoz has just been getting better and better. A guy who really is made for this gig. 9th inning guy. Absolutely a guy who's flamethrower the last couple of years, really came into his own last year. Look at the progression of the last few years. ERA 2.94, 2023, 24, 2.12 last year, 173, 13 saves, then 22 saves, then 38 saves. I think the Mariners have gotten better. I think the Mariners are, if you watch our preseason predictions video, I think the Mariners might be the best team in the American League along with the Yankees. And I think they got a guy at the 9th inning where you're not going to get much. 12 earned runs all year in 64 starts, in 64 appearances. He's going to throw at 100. I think he's fantastic. Mason Andres Munoz, number 5 as well. Number 4, Cade Smith of the Guardians. Look, I don't know what happened with Emmanuel Clase in terms of all that stuff off the field. I know this. They had their next closer already in house when he got there. Cade Smith is a stud. 191 ERA, a little bit worse last year. 16 saves. I think his time is now. I think he's definitely going to be one of these guys that's going to be a closer for many, many years. Even like with some slippage last year, like he's still like ERA under 3, throws about 100 miles an hour, right around there. Very tough to hit off of. Very tough to hit off of. Cade Smith, number 4. Number 3, Josh Hader, I have him here. I know. He's hurt. He's not going to start. And I think that's probably the concern why he's not higher, because he has had some injury issues in the last recent years here where Hader really hasn't been able to pitch the way he has been before with the injury issues as well. But he's fantastic. I'm not concerned about him. He is getting a little bit older, so he's 31 now as well. But his stuff just moves. The ball just moves. Got excellent movement as well. Had some dips down in production too, I think as well. I think he's been either the best closer in baseball or he struggled some at times. And I think it's mostly, because of the injuries and all that is other. From Maryland, though. But Josh Hader, I think, is fantastic. I still have him at number 3. I think he's really good. Number 2, Edwin Diaz. Here's a guy who really bounced back last year. First of all, that's Edwin Diaz, best closer entrance, not Ricky Vaughn, with Tommy Tune. I hope they do it justice out in Los Angeles like they did New York last year. So, bit of a struggle, though, last couple of years for him. Got hurt, I think, at a World Baseball Classic. I think it was a couple years ago as well. 2023, so he missed all 2023, came back in 2024, struggled a bit. It's actually moved out of the closer role for a bit. Came back last year, and he looked like more like the guy we saw before the injury last year. 62 innings, 62 games pitched, 12 earned runs all season long, 6 wins, 28 saves, 1.63 ERA. Guy's a flamethrower, to say the least. I mean, I think this guy, Diaz, it was very close for me. And going to the Dodgers, I think you talk about the Phillies, this is the doctor's orders. What didn't the Dodgers have last year? What's the one thing they needed? Was a closer. They had Suzuki doing that, but during the World Series, he struggled a little bit. They kind of went away from that. They will not be going away from Edwin Diaz, as good as he is. I think it's like that. And I think this is one of my favorite players, if not my favorite non-Oriole in all of baseball, next to Bryce Harper and Schwarber. Oh, baby, Mason Miller. This guy is going to be unhittable, period, like a lot of nights. He throws it 100 and it moves. Not just the heater, everything. Just dances. Saw it even in the World Baseball Classic. Fools umps because the ball moves so much. Great spin on his ball, everything. One thing the Padres have is a guy in the 9th inning. I really think this wasn't a great decision for the A's to get rid of him. But oh baby, Mason Miller, I think in the 9th inning. There you go. Number 1 as well. All right. And we got opening day tomorrow. Last segment. So we got it 70 and 91. Both teams were last year, the Minnesota Twins and the Baltimore Orioles. They're going to kick it off 3 o'clock Academy Yards at Masson as well. I went ahead earlier today. Check it out on our Bravery Sports 2 Twitter page and social media pages that they are going to have the roster. Well, let's take a look at who is going to be in this game tomorrow. Brian Buxton, 35 home runs last year. So Buxton, I think this is the guy. Walk him. Pitch around him. This is the only guy that's that's not going to hurt you as well. We'll see with the full lineup. I'm sure Buxton will be in the lineup tomorrow. 264. This is the guy you want to pitch around. Twins are kind of rebuilding here in some ways. They're having some ownership issues as well. Team, I think, is for sale. I think it's for sale. I think they're selling, or they considered selling one of the two. So I think they're having some issues there. But I definitely think that this is the guy that you don't want to mess with. Brian Buxton as well. So definitely a guy that you're going to have to pitch around. Not a lot of offense, but I think they're going to be looking to this guy this season. Second baseman Lucas Shaw hit 302 last year. This is a team that's going to have to do some station to station outside of Buxton as well. You're kind of hoping they can get more from Royce Lewis and some guys, but their offense is not terrific here as well. I think that's been their kind of Achilles heel for the last couple of years. They don't have enough bats in the gun, and they're going against a guy tomorrow that's been was fantastic all last season. Joe Ryan, this is their number one starter. So definitely two in the first game. You want to start your best pitcher, Joe Ryan. He's probably the best one they got left, I think, in terms of that. So Joe Ryan, I think, is going to have his work cut out for him with a very good Orioles offense as well. With a very good Orioles offense as well. He was 13-10 last year. 13-10 last year. 194 strikeouts, 3.42 ERA. Very solid. Four-seam fastball. Got a lot of high spin as well. Frequently at the top of the zone. So you're going to get opportunities to go ahead and hit off of him as well. But definitely, too, he's a horse. I don't know if he's a true ace, but definitely, too, he's going to give you a lot of innings. Gunnar Henderson. So let's see if Gunnar bounced back. I mean, from all reports, a lot of people say he was hurt last year. There was issues last year, et cetera, et cetera. Very good in the World Baseball Classic, so that's a great sign. He's definitely going to have to start here. He's not going to have on the left arm. He's not going to have Jackson Holiday. Jackson Holiday, I don't think, by the way. I don't think we're going to go too long without Jackson Holiday. I think in April we'll see Jackson Holiday, right? I think he's already going to be in Norfolk here pretty soon. So you're not going to have him, and you're not going to have Westberg. Westberg, I think, is going to be a lot longer. You're not going to have Jordan Westberg. So they're going to definitely need him to go ahead. But this wasn't a great year he had last year. I'm going to still say that. Somebody say, oh, well, okay, certainly capable of more, but we need to see more from Gunnar Henderson as well. But we're all waiting for the unveiling of the polar bear, Pete Alonso. 38 home runs, 126, 272. I thought the Mets were crazy to get rid of this guy. So this is the first we've seen in a very long time. Big time Oriole bat in free agency in his prime, ready to hit in the middle of the order and drive runs home in Camden Yards at that new gorgeous scoreboard that we've all seen. So Pete Alonso, I think, I can't wait to see that 25 run out on the field on Camden Yards tomorrow and get squared away. I mean, Pete Alonso is going to be outstanding in that role. So we definitely looking forward to that as well. And the most valuable Oriole deserved the start. The best pitcher from last year deserved the start. Trevor Rogers, 9-3, 181. There's a lot of people that don't think he's going to be as good. See a lot of that. I don't know why. He was terrific. Even, I think the last two starts, I think he was human in those starts, but dead arm. He was so good last year. I think there is some skepticism because this hasn't been what he's done, but certainly, and I got that wrong, he's a left-hander. But I think Trevor Rogers, I think, is a fantastic, had a fantastic season last year, and certainly worthy of the opening day start as well. So Trevor Rogers, shout out to Trevor Rogers getting the opening day start as well in this game. So what happens here in this game tomorrow? So definitely lights, camera, action. It's the first game of the season as well. Let's get it right. There you go. Left-handed Trevor Rogers. Orioles, I think, win this game pretty convincingly here at Camden Yards. I do think Alonso's going to hit a home run. A lot of these new guys are going to want to establish themselves. Taylor Ward, we're going to see for the first time tomorrow as well. So interesting to see. You're not going to have Jackson Holiday. You're not going to have Westberg here at the start as well. No real surprises when that roster came out today. I didn't think maybe Andrew Nunez. They're going to run through bullpen guys. I kind of see Mike Elias as this is kind of a strategy to run through bullpen guys. One other thing, again, no Dean Kramer. Dean Kramer sent to AAA Norfolk for the start of the season. So we will not have him. Zach Eflin will be the fifth starter the first month when they need a fifth starter. I don't think this is mostly strategic, in my opinion. They can send him down. They're not going to use him much anyway. They have another starter here. I think that's the way this is going to go. Thank you guys for watching us here on the Raven Sports Podcast. Let's go. Let's start a baseball season as well. It's opening day. Let's get pumped up for the Orioles here. So we'll be following the Orioles all season long on Raven Sports and all of our platforms as well. Every week, we're going to have Orioles Report as well, starting next week, starting 2 weeks rather. We're gonna have an Orioles report. We're gonna recovers the whole week of the Orioles as well. Orioles weekly report. We're gonna be doing that as well. Next week too, the last of our series, our top 10 series, managers. We're gonna go ahead and do that. Let's go, O's. Let's get it popping. Thank you very much for joining us here, Raven Sports Podcast. You enjoy the rest of your day.